What's good, Mason here, and in this video I'm going to show you exactly how, if I have an iced coffee, Wi-Fi connection and AI, I can print over $100,000 with info. I'm also going to be breaking down what I believe to be the best path and unfair advantages when it comes to selling info in this space. So, let's get into it. Everyone's out here yapping about mindset, affirmations, vision boards, journaling, cool, right? Enjoy. But I've honestly never met a broke operator or coach consultant who needed more belief. They needed real backend systems, a laptop and caffeine. No vision boards, no affirmations, no fluff. I'm 22 right now and pulling in 174k plus a month with one of my clients. I have personally helped people like Manish, Tamek, Luca, Zawa hit 300k, 138k, 31k and 12k in weeks, sometimes even days. And I'm not trying to yap on here. I'm just trying to kind of give you a reason to actually stick through and watch and believe me when I give you this value. And not only that, we've also got guys like Tyler, absolutely popping right now, getting good results, 40k rev he's just got, and Dan as well, 29k cash collected and 45k in revenue in just 1 week with a webinar. Right now, you're probably watching, thinking, who the fuck is this guy? And what the fuck is this guy even talking about? But what I actually do is build the systems, behind the scenes, which is why you probably don't see my face. I'm not out here doing all this content, trying to go wild with 1 million followers. I'm super, super niche down. Because I'm behind the scenes, I'm kind of a ghost, right? Because what I actually do is build the systems that make all these info businesses print. So I'm not looking to do, mindset, motivation. We are just building machinery. Creators, coaches, and consultants already have attention. I'm sure you know that, right? Every time you scroll on TikTok, scroll on Instagram, you see an X, Y, and Z person, right? Talking about their business model or their gym routine or what they're eating or whatever it might be in their day. And that's because they've got attention. They've got your attention and they've got everybody else's, maybe even more. A few examples of these guys are right here, right? Samuel Anuha, TJR, Iman, Brez, Shelby, Cardinal Mason, all these people have tons and tons and tons of traffic and attention. But the case is for some of these people, behind the scenes, they've got leaking funnels, broken calendars, no urgency, a lot of problems. And some of these creators and coaches, they aren't even selling anything online, right? And every time you try and click on a funnel, click on a link, you get hit with some sort of 404, Calendly error, something's broken. Engagement with no system to turn it into cash. And that's kind of the situation that most of these people are stuck in. So what we kind of do at ISL, my team, my agency, if you like, we come in, we plug in our systems, and we install the whole machine. The funnels, the VSL, the actual CRM, the system, sales engine, and the sales team and the whole setup, the dashboards and the tracking setup, an absolute killer team across the board. And we actually implement killer market research and an irresistible offer to make people buy. We implement all the stuff that actually makes the money. So I'm not really the believe in yourself guy. I'm just the get to work, stop being a fucking loser guy. And anybody that you see working with me or speaking to me, you can probably agree and back that up. Because build over believe, and I'll always back that up 1 million times over. And 100% you can have beliefs, right? And you can work harder all the time. But at the end of the day, you just need to know what to do and fucking do it. Put the work in. Stop getting trapped about doing all these routines and thinking of this. Try to set an alarm for 5 a.m. At the end of the day, if you just get up and do the shit you need to do to get to the output you want to get to, that's what's going to get you there, right? So mindset is pretty much a lie. And that's kind of why you're still broke, right? And let's get into that. Because mindset is cute. That's kind of what I'd call it. It sells books. It gets clicks. It might make you think, oh, shit, that's right. I should maybe take this supplement or do this or get up at this time. But at the end of the day, it doesn't print. It doesn't really do much for you. You can't meditate your way to a working funnel. You can't journal your way to a fan base's payout. And no one's affirming clannering their way to actual automation and systems. So some things that I've learned whilst running these info systems in the back end, every operator and coach who wins has one thing in common: execution loops. Very, very simple thing, but they're doing it in abundance. They test, they automate, they ship ugly, and then they iterate. And that's what systems thinking is, right? The inputs and the outputs. And you've got the whole process to put the input in. And then once you get the output, you have a feedback loop. Is it a good output? Is it what you wanted? Or can we improve it? And then we kind of go around in that circle till we get to the perfect output, which we pretty much never reach because we're always chasing something. However, we are improving 24/7. Not one of them sits around manifesting, right? If you want freedom, you need a back end that actually replaces you. And that's what we're going to be going over in this video. It's what I'm going to be showing you. The 174k per month system, right? Shout out to Franklin Cern. Step one for this system, if you're coming in this business as an operator, you need to actually find and sign a client in a niche that pays. So fuck passion. I want you to pick a niche at this point that already fucking prints. And how do we do that? I'm not going to just leave you to, stranded, go do it yourself. So to use e-commerce as an example in this video, one thing I used to do was go on YouTube and search something like, dropshipping full course. And you're going to get tons of videos like this. And obviously you can go much more niche than this. You can go much more in depth based on what you know and what niche you're in, what market you're in. And you can find these kind of niche keywords, niche search terms that people in that space are searching for. Take advantage of it, search it up, and you're going to find people, at the top level, at the lower level, with all different follower counts, engagement, views, everything. And that's how you're going to find the best clients that you can work with. But any of these people, chances are, if they've put time into, for example, a free course, they've probably got a call to action in the video and links in the description. So I'd add all of these people that I'm finding to a lead list, whether that's in Google Sheets, in Notion, whatever I'm using. I'll store all their names and their YouTube channel links, maybe even their Instagram and their email as well if I can get it. Because then later on, I can hit them with perfect outreach and hopefully land them as a client. And like I say, you can do the exact same thing on Instagram. Just go find these people, go to their profile, and then check the similar accounts tab to find more people just like them. And Instagram's pretty much going to do the work for you, so you don't have to continue to find more and more people. And obviously, not everybody's going to work. You do need to qualify them, as well as you kind of want to be working with somebody who's actually going to make money. We're not just signing clients with a crack so we can tell our friends and talk about it. We need people who can print. And it's very, very important that you don't forget that and you don't get desperate. So for us right now, my systems and my team, we're kind of fully automating this. I use NAN to scrape X, IG, YouTube, and LinkedIn, plus some other stuff as well on the side. But then we basically auto-load all the best leads, the qualified leads, into a Google Sheet, ready for all of my VAs, the team, to hit with outreach. And we also actually have a separate sequence that automates a cold email system as well to all these leads on top of our personalized outreach. When you eventually do land a client with whatever system, whatever strategy you choose, you need to understand two things. And these are the biggest, most important things. And it's very, very simple. It's what these coaches and creators are doing wrong and how to fix it. Because if you don't even know what they're doing wrong, why are you going to work with them and why they're going to work with you in the first place? And especially if you don't know how to fix it. It's all good you coming in and saying, hey, man, I'm doing this wrong. Great, right? That's the end of it. You're not going to actually achieve anything by doing that. You need to understand how to optimize it and how to fix it. So I thought I'd go through here and give you a few examples in this video. So number one example I've given you that you're going to find a lot with these people is tracking. Because most of these guys, these coaches, these creators, they don't actually know what converts. So they have no dashboards, no feedback loops. They've got no fucking clue. So to fix that, you need to come in, right, and build them a dashboard. Very, very simple. And all we need it to show is three simple things: traffic, calls to cash. Obviously, you can track a lot more within each of these categories. But at the end of the day, we just need to see what's coming in, what's booking the call, and then what's closing and selling the deals. You can make this as flash or as simple as you want. You can use Google Sheets, Go High Level, Airtable, some other CRM, whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't really matter. I just need you to help them and actually get the problem fixed. And it'll look a little bit something like this, right? You can set this up in Airtable or something very similar in a platform like Looker Studio. But either way, you're setting up a system, a visual dashboard, so you can see all the metrics and all the numbers. Now, let's go into problem number 2, follow-ups. Because it's crazy how shit some of these guys' follow-ups are, even though their whole business pretty much relies on it. But it's a simple fix, to be fair. As simple as setting up a 3-day revival sequence, reactivation sequence, or whatever you want. And again, to start off with, if you want to keep it simple, you can literally just get launching and do this at Go High Level. Day 1, do you still want help with X, right? It gauges interest and it baits a response from the prospect. Day 2, I've got space for one more this week. You're creating urgency. And then day 3, example 1, closing spots tonight or closing spots in X amount of hours, right? Creating further urgency, even more urgency, and way more FOMO as well. Super fucking simple. All I need you to do is write it, set it up. You can even utilize AI for this, like I say, and that's what we're doing. Schedule it once and you literally never have to touch it again. And obviously you can set this up for email and SMS, WhatsApp as well. On most of the offers we run, we're using, things like Kit and GHL for email, sometimes Beehive, Substack or whatever, different things like that. But my favorite is Kit, and that's what we use them mostly. But we'll kind of mix in Go High Level emails and stuff for those time-based reminders, unless we're just using cal.com, Calendly, and they have their own native reminders, emails, SMS in there to make it even simpler for you. GHL or Twilio, it's the same thing, obviously built in, or closed CRM for SMS. We're usually just using whatever CRM we have set up, we're using that for SMS, but depending on the situation, on some sort of webinars that we run and some different offers we run, we do have external SMS softwares that we use, but mainly we keep it super, super simple at the start. And then you install Zapier and NAN to connect absolutely everything. That's what we do. And again, you don't even need end-to-end to start off with. You don't even really need Zapier, but I do recommend, because it's just going to make your life so much easier, and it allows you to connect different tools instead of just running everything off GHL, for example. And it looks, a little bit something like this, and then you can write all your emails. And as you can see, this is one of our post-call flow examples. 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, and 17 days for kind of a last-minute follow-up. Now, I've spoke about it a little bit, the urgency and the FOMO, but urgency is a huge issue a lot of these creators, coaches, whatever have, because they don't really believe in the product themselves. They don't understand why people buy it. They don't understand the psychology behind it. All they know is, right, I post content, people buy, I make money. They don't really look any deeper into it. They don't really believe in it enough, but you do. You're going to look into that for them. You're going to be the one to fix that problem. So if they have a problem with urgency, which I imagine, 99% of them do, the offer's flat because there's no reason for people to buy today. And if there's no reason to buy today, there's no reason to buy tomorrow or next week, right? Because even the people who do want to buy, they're going to put it off until one of the competition sells them. And then now there's a reason to buy today because they've created real FOMO and real urgency. So where we fix that to make sure we're absolutely cleaning up and selling everybody right now is something I like to call conversion cycles. It's like 7 to say 10-day windows with absolute visible proof. It's very, very similar, pretty much the same as a launch, just a little bit of a different strategy. But you're literally pushing a marketing scheme, a marketing tactic, if you like. We're opening 3 spots this week and then we're closing. That's kind of the whole idea, the whole framework behind it. You can use countdown timers, public case studies, story deadlines, value, everything. At the end of the day, it's urgency and it's FOMO. Trust right now is at an all-time low. So it's not as simple as just saying, right, buy, 3 spots left, whatever. Because everybody's skeptical. Nobody's trusting you at the end of the day. So don't just say 3 spots left. We need you to actually give them a reason. Explain why. Giving real reasons that back up the urgency and back up the FOMO. Because if you don't, they're going to smell your BS a mile off. And you just kind of become another one of these guys, right? Another one of these Instagram coaches who are just bullshitters. And you don't want to be that. We're looking to deliver a real good fucking product and tell people that so we can market to them and get them in, and then they're super fucking happy and gas when they get inside instead of being skeptical before they get in, and then it pays off for them. They're like, oh fuck, I shouldn't have bought this, a shit product. You have to do it right. And you literally can just create a few emails, a few story sequences on Instagram, and that is going to help you. As you can see, the gap is widening fast. This is one of my little mini story sequences I ran. Most people in the info game are about to get crushed. If you're still copying the BS gurus and doing all of this in 2025, you're fucked. Are you ready to fucking run and scale your info business, right? Yes or no? And that's a little sequence I ran. And then I did a limited of 10 spots. But that was real because I was actually spending X amount of time per week with every single one-on-one student that I work with. And that's what I do, right? Because I don't want to become another one of these group coaching programs. I didn't want to scale like all these other guys did because I just thought I can scale my clients, we'll do that. The only way I want to scale my own offer, eventually we'll just put the price up. But for now, it's cool, right? We're going to limit the spots for real, no bullshit. And we're going to work with these people actually one-on-one. Give them our license systems, give them our SOPs, help them install them one-on-one, help them get their first client and move on. And because I give real reasoning behind that and prove it to them, give them real proof, it means that people actually want to buy because they know I'm not bullshitting like everybody else. And I guess the next thing that leads into is delivery. It's all good getting them in and using these different systems, but if you don't deliver a good fucking product, it might be all good, you might be making money right now, but it's all going to crash and burn once that catches on. So if you're just coming in for a quick cash grab, I mean, fair enough. I definitely wouldn't recommend it, and I really recommend you stop right now, maybe even refund the guys that have paid you. You need to deliver a good product. The people that you're finding who you might outreach to, they're onboarding their one-on-one clients manually and coaching them through Instagram DMs, right? People are paying them thousands of dollars and they're sat on IG DMs, they're taking calls through the Instagram thing, they're sending voice notes on Instagram, whatever. And the fix for that, you can literally go ahead and create one delivery hub. Notion, Discord, WAP, it doesn't really matter. The way we do it with our stuff, right? Even for my own offer, for example, we have WAP set up for all the apps, the courses and everything inside because we have quite an in-depth kind of delivery process. But within that, right, we have a separate Discord that you can join through the WAP and you have your own one-on-one channel. You get a chat, you get the wins, you get announcements, you get all the calls in there. Everything is inside, right, in the communication side of things just because it was easier for people and it was easier to stay more active and have kind of those private chats with it's kind of one-on-one chats, but we have my team in there and their team as well, just so everybody can communicate and get the most value. And on top of that, we also have client portals for everybody where they can go through and see their roadmap. They can kind of track the entire process and tick it off and put the dates in so we can see how they're getting on. And they also have a daily tracker to track their inputs every single day a focus timer, action steps, a whole kind of task management and project management system. And I have a lot more inside of here with like an agency dashboard pre-built. I have pre-built dashboards for kind of operators who have clients, who then have pre-built dashboards for all their clients. And obviously when I do work with coaches directly who come into the offer, we have dashboards specifically for them and their offer as well, so they can track and manage everything. And you don't have to go that much in depth. Don't worry. That's not what I'm telling you to do here. But I'm just giving you an example across the board of all these things. And you can probably see straight away when you systemize it and automate it like this, the results are going to start flying in, and that's going to turn into an engine because you can then leverage those results in your marketing. It turns into an absolute fulfillment cycle, right? You're going to get referrals coming in because the guys are getting delivered such a good product. They're going to tell their friends. They're going to get results, and then bang, it becomes a whole flywheel. Once you've got everything set up, you can literally go ahead and pre-record and set up the whole onboarding process with videos, with systems, with automations. You have templates and SOPs all dropped inside that they can get access to. And then you can also have manual check-ins as well as automated check-ins and automated announcements every week, every 7 days, every couple of days, whatever it is. Every time there's a group call, we have automated messages going in, reminding people, because people have all these systems and automations on the front end. But when it gets to the back end, they're like, oh, if someone doesn't turn up to the call, so be it. That's not what you should be doing. Your job is to keep these guys accountable and work with them. You know, even if you are just the operator, you're not the coach, still help in every way you can. And that's what's going to set you apart and help you bring in the most amount of cash fast. So now we went through a few problems there. Obviously, you can find a million more gaps, some more surface level, some more deep. But I don't want to spend the whole video talking about that. We can break that down separately. Here's how I'd actually rebuild completely from scratch. 0 followers, 0 team, 0 fluff, nothing, and still hit 174K a month with info. Because all I need to make money with info is caffeine, Wi-Fi, and of course, AI, right? What can we do without AI these days? So, step 2, once you've found and you've even landed a client, onboarded them, you need to find the pain and actually go ahead and build the offer. Because you're not just selling info, selling information, selling education. What you need to be doing is fixing a pain that costs them money or sleep. And how do you do that? Using your client's Instagram that you've landed, the creator, the coach, the consultant that you're working with, or maybe you are a coach yourself. Run a poll on your story, asking people, what are they struggling with the most right now within your market? Simple, fast, cut straight to real fucking pain points. And you can go more in depth with this later on, of course, but I'm just giving you the quick method to get started fast. This is going to help you understand your audience or their audience and figure out what actually hurts, where the pain really is. So to use e-com as an example again, you can just literally ask, right, what's the biggest struggle right now? Is it ads, conversions, or product? And obviously once you know who your ICP is directly and you have more market awareness within your niche, you can make these questions much more specific and you can ask multiple in a row to find out even more deeper research and answers from your audience. As you can see, it'll literally just look something like this. Obviously a super basic example, but take this, put it into your own words, your own styling. That's it. You can get going fast. The one with the strongest response is the one you build your offer around. Pretty self-explanatory. And then step 3, once you've built the offer, you've got everything set up, all you need to then do is actually build the back end of the front end, because that's where most offers fall to shit. No infrastructure, no systems, no nothing. So how do you actually come in and fix that and solve the problem? I'm not going to go too deep on this step because it does deserve its whole, own kind of full video. It's a very, very in-depth process. However, you can kind of simplify it too. When we're coming into this, when you're just getting started, what I would recommend, you can literally set up the funnel and the CRM, everything inside GHL. It's not going to be the 100% best case scenario, but to get started, it's going to be everything you need. Simple setup, easy to clone, everything. And it scales clean without, using a million different extra tools. And like I say, later on when you find out more, you want to scale, you can implement different things, but it's so unnecessary at the start. I recommend you just get started with something like Go High Level. You can create a funnel that looks just something like this using GHL, and then you can use Vidalytics, Wistia, VTurb, or something like that to host the actual video. And then obviously you need to use something in the application as well. I recommend Typeform. You can use different processes, different systems if you like, if you're looking to save some money. But at the end of the day, make the investment, and that's what you're going to print with. Once you've got the whole funnel setting up, right, you need to actually create and build the automations and the systems to begin with. And for this, at the start, I would just stick to Zapier, maybe ManyChat, and GHL. Technically, GHL can kind of do ManyChat's job as well. I just prefer it. It's easier, and it just flows and looks way better visually, because GHL, I'm not going to lie, is some clunky old school shit, because they're not really selling to consumers. But once you have set all this up, right, and you're running it and you've done your first launch, then you can maybe look to include systems like N8N as well, because that's when you're kind of actually going deeper into it. That's when you'll actually know what needs and what's going to kind of take advantage of having deeper automations and deeper systems in place. But at the start, that is so unnecessary. I actually think it's going to be a waste of time, and I really recommend you don't do that. It's going to waste your time, it's going to confuse you, overwhelm you, and you'll get nothing done. Okay, step 4, you've got the client, you've got the systems, you've built the back end and the front end, everything's in place. I need you to go ahead and run a Catalyst launch, because that's what we're going to do to get to that 174K per month from zero. We're not going to build evergreen yet. We're not going to be creating some huge, crazy systems. The goal right now is to launch quick, to test, and absolutely cash flow and just print cash. So how do you do that? First, we're going to be needing an email list. If the client that I'm working with or that you're working with don't already have an email list, the best way to actually build it and get some leads getting started is through content. Direct different people, all the traffic and all the leads to lead magnets, free trainings, opt-in pages, newsletters, all this stuff. Anything you can send them, and in return they need to give you their name, email, and hopefully even their phone number. That's what we need to be doing at this stage to gather as many leads as possible, right? And as you can see, comment sales to save your spot, join my free training with a link. All these things are pushing into some sort of opt-in so we can collect their lead. Once we've done that, you've got your email list, maybe you already had it, or you've just kind of gathered one together quickly. We're going to run a 7-day email sequence. The first 5 are going to be straight value, case studies, and personal stories, as you can see right here. And then for the last 2, that's when you mention the offer. And the 6th email is the first time you even bring it up. I don't want you to start hinting here and hinting there, right? You can hint at creating something, but I don't want you to specify that it's an offer, you're selling something until the end. And then once you get past the 6th email, the 7th and the final email is the hard sell, the big push, backed by a big personal story or a big case study from a student or a client or whatever it might be. That's where you push the offer massively. Offer and value, and then just straight offer. Use a short deadline, visible proof, and a good VSL, and that is kind of what you need in place to make money with info, with a Catalyst launch. Once you've done that, everything's working, everything's printing, all you need to do going into step 5 is just stack proof and expand. Every new win is a new sales asset. Every new system is an asset, and you can repeat and expand these systems. How do you do it? Turn every single client result you get into a clip, screenshot, or testimonial, maybe even a case study. Best case scenario, all 3, all 4. And you literally want to get results like this. I've worked with Zawa for a while now. He went from 0 to 12K in 10 days. He's landed like 2 clients in 6 days. He got one of his clients like 92K revenue. I think it's even higher than that right now. Tomek went from 0 to 138K in 22 days. Manish went from 0 to 27K per month profit with his own agency in just 3 months working with me. Luca went from $300 per month to $31,618 per month in just 16 days. And we've got all these other guys absolutely killing it as well. Eli, Paul is actually, Fusek is on here, but yeah, Paul, obviously Tomek and Zawa and everybody in here too. And all these guys, right, we've got so many guys printing. But as you can see, I can take their wins that I've allowed them to get and help them get, and I can just turn that and leverage that into clips, screenshots, testimonials, case studies, just like you see right here. And then I can go ahead and feed them, and you can feed them, and I can feed my clients, right, into our ads, funnels, and nurture emails, the whole entire ecosystem to print more. And it looks something like this. Here's Fredo's, all of his case studies in the funnel. You can literally talk about and leverage all the case studies in your emails too. And obviously this is a free training welcome sequence, and we're going to mention all the results throughout them. And then even in ads as well, you can be talking about mentioning your different wins, and you can even have the whole entire ad, content, everything be based around just that win, that case study that you've got. So build a proof ecosystem that compounds trust. When you have that trust, more proof equals faster scale. You're going to make way more fucking money. And obviously that's the goal here. So that is pretty much the 174K per month system broken down. That is how I would go from 0 to over $100,000 per month with info if I'm starting fresh with just caffeine, Wi-Fi, and fucking AI, right? Simple, repeatable, built on systems, not self-belief. You don't need mindset. You need Wi-Fi, caffeine, AI, and execution, right? You need to be able to fucking work and put the work in and stop fucking whinging about it and trying all these different tactics, setting 1 million alarms a day. Just get up. You need to want it. You need to enjoy it and just be willing to sit down and get to the result you want. Remember the systems thinking graph that we went over earlier? Feel free to go back to that, screenshot it, save it, right? Utilize it, because that's how you need to be acting. Just do the fucking work, put the inputs in, and you'll get the output out. So I want to kill the excuses straight up, because I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but X, Y, and Z, it's a mindset problem, it's a this problem, it's a that problem. Maybe you don't have access to certain things. I'm not technical. You don't need to be. AI and templates, all the SOPs do 80% of the heavy lifting for you. You can use ChatGPT or Claude for copy, emails, and nurture flows. I would always recommend Claude when you're actually doing copywriting, but ChatGPT can work as well for certain things, and Claude's kind of fell off a little bit recently, I found, but people may disagree with that. GHL or Zapier connects everything. Drag, drop, done. That's all you need, and that's literally it. I've got no audience, right? If you're coming into this with no followers, maybe you don't even have an account right now, right? That's fine. Most of the operators I showed earlier literally started with 0. That's it. And here's how they did it. They build proof before brand. DM 50 people in their niche. 10 will talk. 2 maybe will sign a deal. They post results publicly. People follow proof, not personality. People are sheep. You need to lead them. Then you recycle your client wins into content, into ads, and you scale and just repeat with the ecosystem. I don't have time. I'm not even going to really try and handle this one. It's bullshit. Cap, stop wasting time. Stop scrolling Instagram. Stop doom scrolling and brain rotting. Fix that first, and then you can come in, automate delivery, follow-ups and onboarding. You'll get 4 to 6 hours back every single day. Then you can start again with your TikTok or whatever other bullshit you need. But you're going to have to put in a chunk of time at the start to get things rolling. Otherwise, whether it's in this business or any other business, you're not going to get anywhere. And this business is not easy. But if you can put the time and the systems in place and automate it with AI and help it do the heavy lifting for you, you can definitely get to those results. So you can keep chasing mindset and all these different things, like I said, or you can just install the systems that print. But if you are probably thinking, I've watched the video, but what now? How do I get started? You and everybody else are probably kind of thinking the same thing here, because this is not straightforward or easy. I'm not really trying to get you looking like this. But you do need to know how to build a funnel, how to set up automations, how to funnel hack, how to land clients, good fucking clients as well, what goes into a launch, a Catalyst launch, and then how to manage a sales team. And there's probably even more than that, if I'm going to be honest with you. But do you really want to burn the next year, going ahead and doing all this, guessing and grinding while others are absolutely printing? And I'm sure you've seen them online. I've just showed you a few there, and I can show you even more. Or do you want to skip all the bullshit and get access to our AI and automation systems, plug in Poppy AI SOP templates for VSLs, offers, emails, and content? I've actually built out even more now. ChatGPT project templates and Claude project templates now, and systems for maximized output. Plus, we've got a crazy amount of pre-built end-to-end workflows that I can't really go into. I can't even bait out what we're automating with that because nobody's really doing it how we are. We've got sales and conversion assets, done for you setter and closer scripts for every offer you work with. Done for you sales assets, Loom SOPs, and everything that you can learn from and implement. Post booking, email and SMS sequences, reminder flows, nurture emails, custom VSL script frameworks, and swipe file of proven VSLs, and just proven everything. We have swipe files and SOPs for pretty much anything you're ever going to need. Inside content and marketing, we've got a content playbook. We're going over hooks, video breakdown, CTA strategies. We've got full SOPs for YouTube and Instagram, X, everything. We've got content plan templates for consistent omnipresence, many chat automations for story replies and lead capture, and access to our content editor marketplace. And we're pretty much going to be placing you with a team, not only on the sales side, but if you need help on the content side as well, with editors, designers, and things like that, we're going to be placing them with you and helping you build that up without any extra effort from you or your client too. And also, last but not least, team and operations, done for you team Discord setup with preset automations, or if you prefer Slack, we can set that up as well. Pre-built hiring funnels, onboarding flows, contracts and test tasks for setters, closers, managers, SDRs, everything. And then also, like I said, a sales team marketplace, we're going to be placing you and helping you hire trained reps directly. And as well, Notion dashboards, client portals, everything, like I mentioned earlier, for you and your clients, and an entire system in place to be tracking your progress, keeping you accountable, and getting to that goal. You also get a private Discord channel where you can communicate with me and my team, you and your team. Everybody gets in there. We're all going to communicate to help you get to that goal. A full 15-phase roadmap. We give you every single system and SOP we've used over these past few years to scale info businesses up so you can implement them in a timeline. You get unlimited one-to-one access directly to me with one-to-one coaching calls like every single phase, a direct chat, my phone number, everything. A full accountability system, daily KPIs tracker, tracking your inputs like I mentioned, milestone and accountability races, public leaderboards with prizes every single month, and implementation-based incentives, all to help you stay accountable and put the fucking work in. Because at the end of the day, with just a bit more work, you could probably already be printing yourself. A Loom review system. You can send over any asset or problem. We're going to be recording deep feedback looms on funnels, outreach, VSLs, sales scripts, content, literally everything to give you the most in-depth feedback so you can go ahead, optimize it, improve it, send it back for a further review, and eventually you're going to get 100%, 10 out of 10, perfect version that you can go ahead and utilize. And on top of all of that, you're also getting weekly group implementation coaching calls with everybody inside, right? Live coaching sessions with me and successful students, everybody dropping value, and sometimes guests coming in too. And that isn't some crazy group call with hundreds of people fighting to get a word in. Like I said, we keep this group super compact, super small, and we only let a small group of people in. If that does sound interesting to you and you want to work with me one-on-one, we do have spots open right now. I don't know how long they'll be open after this video goes up, but apply below. You can check the link and get inside and work with us. If you're a coach, creator, or consultant yourself doing over 15K a month and you want my team to run your entire backend, funnels, automations, sales team, sales system, ads, everything, the lot, and all you want to do is focus on content and clients, we handle the rest, then let's fucking run it up. Book a discovery call, the link's below for the agency, and you can get involved, right? And that's pretty much everything. If you don't want to work with me one-on-one, you just want to get started and sort of dip your feet in, I'm also going to have a link for the free training and the free course, the group, everything that you can get into right now to get started. Start printing, get your first client, and then we can chat later on. Because at the end of the day, my goal is your goal. I want to get you to that result. Come back and let me know once you get there. Appreciate you watching. Peace the fuck out. See you in the next one.